All right, boom. I got the sample pulled up in the MPC. My screen looks different from yours because I ain't updated in almost a year. First thing I'll tell you, I can't update some fucking shit up, bro, so be careful. All right, boom. So, sample pulled up. This green is the beginning. Move this way you want. And this is the end. So, anything in between them two is going to be what you're sampling. All right, I'll listen to the whole thing. I got to the end. I found what I wanted. You want to chop your sample as accurate as possible. So, you know what I'm saying? Zoom out. All right, so after you zoomed out, this is where we're going. All right, these are your cue links right here. These are how you hone in, you know what I'm saying, how you lock in on the sample. We're only going to worry about these first two dots. This first one is the beginning of the sample. That's the end of the sample. Beginning, end. All right, so we're starting at the beginning. This moves it a lot. This moves it less, even more or less. All right, so we got the cue link markers at the start position, and we're about to chop the beginning of the sample. I don't want this shit here, so we're gonna move the marker. All right, we got the marker where I need it. And I got there by using one of these. I barely ever use this one. I use this one so you can, you know what I'm saying? So you can really lock in at the beginning of the sample. All right, so we're about to find out where the ending is. The part of the sample that I decided I wanted to chop was at the end. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's the last few bars of the whole sample. So I decided to just take the whole fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to be moving this shit. I just want to take the whole thing. The BPM, MPC automatically finds the BPM for you. Normally, I think I've only maybe seen it wrong once. Usually it's correct. Sometimes it'll say 174. No song is 174 BPMs. You cut it in half, it's 87. This here's your tune. This will change it. We can go up or down. I'm using this. Now, keep in mind, once you change this from 0, once you move this from 0, it's no longer whatever this BPM says. It's only 87 BPM when it's at 0. Once you change it, it's changed. So I've gone down. It is no longer 87. I went down one. It's probably at 85 now. 85, 86, 85, 84, and some changes, something like that. Go down 2. It's probably, somewhere between 84, 83. That's probably like 82, 83, somewhere around there. So I've taken it down 3 semitones, and this is what I'm gonna go with. Remember, that's the start marker. And this is the end marker. All right, after you found what you want to chop, got your markers all lined up, hit process. Function. Discard anything in front of the start marker and anything behind the end marker is going to be deleted. So once you hit discard, the only thing left is what you chopped. The whole sample going to be gone. So if you make a mistake, you can hit undo. All right, delete. Anything in between the end and start marker will be deleted. Silence, instead of deleting it, it's going to silence it. Normalize, makes it louder. Reverse, reverses it. Self-explanatory. Fade in. You know, these we're not really worried about right now. What we want is extract. All right, so we want to extract the chop out of the sample. We don't want to get rid of the whole sample. We just want to extract the sample, extract the chop out of the sample. So we're going to hit extract. After you hit extract, I'm going to hit do it. Once you hit do it, it gives you the option to name, to title it, give it a title. This is what, you know, I usually go with. I go sample chop 1 because more than likely I'm going to go back in the sample and find, you know, at least 1, 2 more chops in there. You know, to give the beat some flavor, more flavor, whatever. So after you give it a name, do it again. After you hit do it, make sure you're gonna tap that box, use this knob, and we're looking for sample chop 1. I've already chopped this before, that's why you see all this. All right, so instead of going down 3 semitones, I've decided to go up 3 semitones. And this is the whole chop. This is everything we've chopped out of the sample. All right, we got the sample. We're gonna chop it up some more now. Hit trim. Hit trim till it says chop. All right, so we're on the chop screen. This is the screen you definitely want to zoom in. Chop screen. We're not gonna deal with these. I'm gonna let you experiment with those on your own time. I'm gonna show you how to chop manually. All right, so a lot of times when you chop on a sample, it'll have like drums in it, so that makes it easy to find the chop marks. This doesn't have drums in it, so we really gotta listen to see where we're gonna find, you know, an accurate chop. But if it had drums in it, this is how it would, you know, this is how we chop it. Boom, tap, boom, tap, boom, tap, boom, tap. It doesn't have the drums, so we got to listen a little bit harder to see where we're going to chop. We're going to go like this. All right, I've done 3 chops so far. Let's go with the first chop. If you notice, it doesn't end clean. It goes into the next chop. We don't want that. So this is when I zoom in so we can lock in. Starting from the first chop. We're using our Q links. Me personally, I like to fine tune with the end. I like to fine tune with the end marker. All right, so now we're about to fine tune our chops. We're on the first chop. If you look at the wave, you can kind of tell that's where the next chop should be starting. So we're going to move our marker in front of that. Remember, I got my Q links and I got it on the end marker. So we're moving the end marker. So now the first chop ends clean. The second chop should start clean. So now it's all right, we're on our second chop. So if you hear it, you can hear that it's going into the third chop, what should be the third chop for me. Now, granted, we don't have to chop here. You chop how you want to chop. Me, I want to chop right here. And if I want to chop right here, that's not the spot where it should be chopped because it's going into the third chop. So I want to get rid of that last little piece. I want to get rid of that. So move our marker. Sometimes you got to use our ears. You know, sometimes you got to, you can zoom in as much as you can, but sometimes it's not enough. You still got to use your ears. All right, I got a fourth chop, and this is what we got so far. Now, we still got a whole bunch more of the sample to chop. All right, so once you've chopped the whole sample, you want to convert it. I'm not exactly sure what the MPC 37 looks like, but here I hit shift and on the screen convert comes up. You tap that box, and what I usually go with is new program with new samples. That's what I go with. There's other stuff you could use, but for years, this is what I've been using. New program with new samples, hit do it. All right, so after you've converted it, now you're back to the main screen on the MPC. That's what the converted program looks like. That's what it's called, Sample Chop 1. I have the Sample Chop program on track 2 of sequence 1. If that is lit, that's your quantize. And everything you record is going to quantize to 1/16 of a beat. If it's not lit, then your quantize is off. I call it quantize, but it's called time correct. You tap it, and to turn it off, you just you hit that. My tip, whatever you start with first, whether you start with the drums first or if you lay out the sample first, I would keep my quantize on. That way it loops perfect. All right, so these are the chops in the program that we converted. These are the banks. These are how you get to more chops. All these chops are on bank B. And that's the last chop. Now, you know what I'm saying? If you don't got a drum, you're starting with the, you're starting with the melody already. If you want, you want to start with the melody first, you could. Something, find something. But I laid down a drum already. I got drums on track 1. Then we start making the beat. Yeah, so after I find something to lay over the drums, tighten everything up, make sure everything hitting on beat, you know what I mean? Start building from there. Bass lines, you know what I'm saying, everything else. So the best thing I could tell you about making your sample sound better, because sometimes a weak or an okay sample can sound so much better, you know what I mean? With EQ, go on YouTube and search high pass filter, low pass filter, and use some effects on it. Like you'll chop some sample, and then after you listening to it for a while, you'll probably get tired of it. But EQ, high pass filter, low pass filter, some effects, some processing, and it change that whole sample, man. Holla at me.